Hello, how you doing? Okay, this one is it's not really like a fun one or anything. Ozzy Osbourne. So Ozzy Osbourne recently died. It's 2025. Today's Lamas. It's August 1st. I think the last day was the 30th. It was the it was the 20 something of July 2025, and so I think that's my guess, something like that. That's not wouldn't be too far off because it just barely happened. Not the date of this video or anything. The funeral's already happened. I watched the funeral, and I wonder if I can find it. I might be able to put in the description box. I found a greatest hits where it just kind of, that you can just kind of get the basic, a good enough idea of it. But yeah, the basic idea with that was really interesting. So for me, I'm not a gossip person, So when I become a big fan of one of my favorite actors or actresses or musicians or whatever, artists, or even just in history and stuff, I've always since forever ago, I've always tried to give the people, because if I probably love them if I'm a fan of their work, and loving someone includes giving them certain respect and things like that, and so I've always just, if an artist gives, like, if they want me to know something about their life, they'll tell me in their proper work, so like the paparazzi and like all these things coming in all the time like that, that's that's I don't like that. I've never been a fan. I don't want to know what they've learned. If like with Ozzy, if I want to know about his personal life, but who would have known that there would be this? I was already been an Ozzy fan for a million years, right, when that came out, and I could see their family and everything. I'm an Osbourne, an American Osbourne. We spell our last name Osborn. But we're on the Mayflower is our family tradition from Massachusetts. So it's Ozzy Osbourne is Osbourne, which I figure is maybe if you go back when we lived in England. Anyway, Ozzy Osbourne just died in so like look, here's my remember these CD collections, like this one, mine doesn't, it's so full it doesn't close, so it just opens to these, and like right inside you got Black Sabbath, Paranoid, and Ozzy, No Rest for the Wicked, right? No Rest for the Wicked. No Rest for the Wicked was us pretty young when that one came out, and then Elvis and Oingo Boingo on the other side. There wouldn't be time to go through it, but it can be kind of fun. I've got more Ozzy in here. Nah, I couldn't find it. It's I don't know. Maybe it's not in there. I can't. But I was trying to find the Ultimate Sin, because I'd I'd heard of Ozzy Osbourne before. Everybody'd heard the song Crazy Train. I'd heard of some Black Sabbath songs too, but I didn't know any better. So I just kind of had heard of Ozzy Osbourne, but then when I became a rocker after listening to Van Halen 1984, so 1984, which is kind of weird. It always makes it easy to put in. Actually, it started with the Police before that, and the Rolling Stones, and some stuff before that. But yeah, going out and buying albums and things like that. Ozzy was one of the first ones, AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, and Ozzy. And how the Ozzy one started is in shop class. The guy that was next to me in shop class was making a wooden pipe so he could smoke marijuana at an Ozzy Osbourne concert. And I was like, wow, you can smoke marijuana? And That's just like so wild. I was a brand new rocker, and they were a well-established rocker that was already really one of the most popular kids in school type thing and everything. But he was pretty nice. I mean, he wasn't a jerk or anything, but it was probably a lot bigger deal to me than I mean, he was just trying not to get in trouble, you know. But so anyway, so then I heard about Ouija. They passed Ouija, little miniature Ouija boards in there from another person, and I just started learning more about Ozzy. And because I was in, part of what I liked about rock and roll was that it had backwards messages and that it was the devil's music. To that, I was like, that is so trippy. That is so cool. I want to. What the hell? What a weird concept, you know. I want to see what this sounds like, you know. It was closer. That's the little. I've replayed it so many times in my head. Who knows what really happened? But I was hooked, you know, for life for sure. Of course. Anyway, so yeah, here's so in my town, you know, every town has someone someone that wears an Ozzy jacket. Well, where I live, I'm the one with the Ozzy jacket, you know. So I was just thinking, yeah, you know, because like when Ozzy died, everybody was asking me, so have you heard about Ozzy? And you know, because I was one of the first people they thought of because I'm the one that wears the Ozzy jacket, you know. But because I just have always been an Ozzy Osbourne fan, clearly. So it was a big deal. I'm not gonna cry right now during this video, but some moments that touched me was the family. Just that what Ozzy wanted was he knew that everything about it. This is me saying this right now. He knew everything about it was going to be publicized and it was going to be part of his story, you know, and people forever are going to watch footage of what happens, you know. And he so what you learn when you watch the videos of interviews of the family is that they said that what Ozzy wanted is he didn't want it to be like doom and gloom and sad and everything, you know. He wanted it to be you know, I think the continuation of just everything all together. So it's the end of the story that because he was a funny guy and everything and he was trippy. So it was a trippy, not funny, but in the spirit of what it all was and will forever be, you know. So it was done really well done. But when it showed the family, they wanted to honor that. In Ozzy, you could tell they probably would have rather have cried and just kept it themselves, but they gave the camera a look as a family and gave the peace sign and mustered up the strength to just be in the spirit of it and smile and did and kept it together and did a really good job. Sharon, I mean, looked pretty you know, not upset. Just I mean, did you let people deal with death in their own way? You know, everybody did really good, and I think that they showed that they love Ozzy, and it touched my heart. I know that they were doing exactly what he wanted, you know, because of people like me, and he knows that I've been watching him. I did end up crying. But anyway, so there. You happy? We all connect within. It's the one love.